Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 4 of the Tattoo Mentor podcast. Today my guest is Poch from Artistic Element. This one's a good one, worth waiting for, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. But for now, let's start the show. What is up, guys? It is Monday, August 4th, 2014. Usually I get this stuff done and up by morning drive every other Monday. That's what I'm shooting for. But had a crazy day yesterday. We went to the movies. We saw Guardians of the Galaxy. Totally kicked ass. And it was a great movie. Great movie so far for summers. It's a great movie so far for summers. Don't you think? It's been a great summer so far for movies. And I'm just waiting for Turtles. Got to go see it. And then we're going to have probably going to have like a summer movie roundtable with some friends as a little bonus podcast. Or if it takes an hour, it might be a whole podcast. But the plans are to have myself, Scott Winsky from Inkwell Tattoo, maybe my assistant, Sexy Jerry, and a few other folks either on the phone in here or both, talking about what we thought about the summer movies. And yeah, so that should be fun. Everybody's got an opinion. I pretty much managed to see everything but Godzilla, and from what I hear, I didn't miss too terribly much. All right, I already hear people like, oh man, Godzilla was cool. I don't know. I want to reserve my judgment until I rent it, but I managed to see everything else, so we're gonna talk about the summer movies. And I know Scott saw Godzilla, so we'll have Godzilla via Scott and whoever else may have seen it. But yeah, so that's going to be our little movie roundtable. That might even be the second episode of this month. Other ideas that have come up. I also seem to be part of a fraternity of fat tattoo artists. As well as just fat people in general. We call it America. No, I'm sorry. Anyway, we're totally talking about maybe doing a fat cast. And I can't lie. I've been listening to... I really enjoy Robert Kelly's You Know What Dude podcast. I suggest you guys check it out. And I've gotten into it and gotten all the way back to the beginning, to when most of them were just him and Joe DeRosa, which I actually enjoy. I love those. But at some point in every podcast, it seems to just break down into the two of them talking about food. And I could relate. And I just think it'd be fun to have a bunch of my buddies here talking about food and our love affair with food. Most of us, ironically, are recovering addicts. So go figure that one out. Coincidence? I think not. Also, another thing coming up would be our Tattoo TV roundtable discussion. I've gotten some emails recently from disgruntled tattoo artists who seem to have a lot of beef with tattoo television. I won't name the programs. We'll name all the programs, I guess, on the roundtable. It'll be unavoidable. With me, it's such a mixed bag because I have friends. I have friends that are on those shows and have been on those shows. There are also people who are on and have been on those shows that I think are complete fucking shitnecks. But so it's hard. It's hard for me to just come out and bash on something that might be helping somebody I dig, you know what I mean, and their families. But it's no secret that I don't watch them. I've made it public. I've never, as God is my witness, I have never seen more than maybe 2 solid minutes of one of those shows, especially the competitive shows. I did used to watch Miami Ink when it first aired. I found it interesting, and then it got a little manufactured a few seasons in. And same thing with LA Ink. I really enjoyed the first couple of seasons, and then I just felt like everything on television, it just gets overproduced and under overproduced and underwear. I'll just put underwear in there because I'm tired. I was up late. The reason I was up late was we went to the movies. We get home, my wife lost her keys. Now, the moral of the story is I actually lost her keys. We went to the diner for breakfast. It was the first thing we did yesterday. And I never do this. I pick up her bag and her sweatshirt because she's up taking care of, I gave her my credit card. She's up taking care of the thing. And I'm like, well, save us a little time. I'll grab everything. I'll head out. So I see her up at the counter. I'm like, I hand her the stuff. She looks at me. I said, okay, is this everything that was in there? And she's like, yeah. Fast forward to, 9:30, 10 o'clock last night, us driving around in a frenzy from the movie theater to the diner to going through the parking lot of the movie theater. And, oh, my God, what a nightmare. But it was awesome. She found the keys, and we all lived happily ever after. But the real point of that story is Guardians of the Galaxy. Wow. I'm not going to spoil anything other than if you haven't seen it, go see it. Because in my opinion, and I will reserve all other comment for our movie podcast, probably the best. Well, I'm going to go out on a limb now and say the best Marvel movie of the summer. How great of a summer is it for movies when Spider-Man may have been the worst movie I saw this summer, and it was still okay. So, pretty cool stuff. I know, put on the Poch interview. We're getting there. Relax. I want to thank Zircon Music, as usual, for all the music we use in this show. You could find him by just searching Google Zircon, Zircon Music. At Zircon Music at Twitter. He's got a YouTube channel. All sorts of happy-dappy stuff. Our website is tattoomentor.com. Where it's under construction, but you should be able to find links to everything relevant about the individual episodes, and soon there'll be a link to Zircon and anyone else who helps us out with the show. Let's see. Oh, emails. Yeah, if you want to email us anything, maybe you want to email us some comments or questions for the stuff I just mentioned. If you want to email questions or comments for either the reality tattoo TV episode, the summer movie episode, or the Fat Cast, which we will accept recipes for the Fat Cast. Our email is tattoomentorpodcast@gmail.com. tattoomentorpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Tattoos by Keith, Instagram at Tattoos by Keith, Facebook quickly becoming useless. The link is on the website. I'm not even going to bother giving it out. Instagram and Twitter probably the best way to go, and obviously the website tattoomentor.com. What else? A couple of personal things. My dog is going in for surgery, and those of you who may know me personally and my wife, our dogs are like our kids. We're those crazy people. So, thoughts and prayers with our dog Dino. He's going in to have a tumor removed. It's a mast cell tumor, and it needs to be removed. And he will also, he's also going to have to get a, why do I always forget it? He's going to have to get neutered because they found a growth on his prostate. Now, if you see the dog, he's just totally fine and healthy and happy and awesome. So he's a really strong, robust bulldog of a dog. So I don't think this is going to affect things much, but still, we'll take all the positive energy we can get. I also just want to congratulate my friend Ian Clugston, who just had a baby boy, his first baby boy. I won't mention the boy's name just for privacy's sake, but congratulations to Ian and his wife and his family on the birth of their baby boy. I know Ian is one of the 4 people who listens to this, so he'll be excited. What else do I have on my list of crap? Not that that's crap, Ian, but hey, the whole world doesn't revolve around you, bro. Okay? You still miss me? Okay, let's see. Conventions coming up. I mention these just because they're local, not because we're sponsored or endorsed or anything. I mention these for two reasons. One, so you have the information. And two, I'll mention in a minute. We've got the Flight 914 coming up at the Cradle of Aviation Museum here on Long Island in New York. And that is from September 12th to the 14th. We also have the Tommy's Con coming up at the Connecticut Convention Center October 3rd through 5th. My birthday, October 3rd. Please send money to Tattoos by Keith. No. So I mentioned them so those of you that are local know that, go check out these conventions. Good conventions to check out. Good artists and great artists in attendance. To wit, anybody coming to town for the Tommy's Con or for the Flight 914 Con, you're going to be close enough to me for me to have you in and do a Tattoo Mentor podcast interview, and I would love to have you. So tattoo artists who will be in the tri-state area for either one of those conventions, please email me tattoo mentor podcast at gmail.com. Stick in your cell phone number so we can call you up. Either myself or one of the guys who helps me produce the show will call you, and we'll get you in. I like doing phone interviews. We haven't aired any yet, but soon you'll be hearing some of the phone interviews, which are real cool. But the sound quality and I think the vibe is way cooler if you're able to come in person and sit down, and we sit down across from each other and just have fun. So I would encourage any artists going to the Tommy's Convention in Connecticut or the Flight 914 convention here on Long Island to contact me about if you want to do podcast interview. And as far as the people organizing the conventions, if you would like to contact me, again, tattoo mentor podcast at gmail.com. We could set up remotely at the convention and do the interviews there, which is something I would really like to do, but I need your cooperation and help. I will not be tattooing at either convention, but I'd be more than happy to come with the portable studio and record the people, and I would also plug your respective shows, which I'm going to do anyway. And that's about it on that. Okay, what else do I have? Just shooting through everything. Went to Jersey Fest this weekend. That was awesome. That was mostly resin kits and sculpting, and it's small, but it's intimate, and it was definitely quality over quantity. So if you're into model building, resin kits, sculpture in general, modern sculpture like statues and action figures, stuff that's not naked kids peeing in fountains, you might want to check out the Jersey Fest next year. It was real cool. And I know there are two others coming up. One is the Ilix Con, which you could just Google. I'll be there. And another one is Resintopia, which I'm trying to make it to, but I think it happens the same weekend as one of the tattoo events. So, all right, dudes, I think I've blathered enough, and I'm going to get to the Poch interview. Now, I've known Poch for a long time, and I dig him quite a bit. He's a really cool guy. I met him at the New Hampshire Tattoo Convention, I think in its second year. And I just saw the guy, saw his work, took a liking to him. Just something about him. He's sexy. What do you want me to say? I kind of like that. But palled up with him, and then later on, I think it was in Philly the same year, he took my seminar. And the kid just... he has worked his ass off to get where he's at. So if there was ever a story of a guy who rose up out of the ghetto, if there was ever a story of a guy who had raw talent and has worked his ass off to get what he's got, and just has given everything, his time, his energy, his money, made family sacrifices, Poch is that guy, and I respect, admire, and love him, and I'm just glad to see him getting the level of success that he's attained. So let's listen to the interview. You've heard me for 15 minutes, so let's listen to Poch. Thanks, guys. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Tattoo Mentor Podcast. I'm sitting here with Poch Best.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
First, we have to turn his microphone on. There he is.
It's back now?
You could tell I'm a professional at this. So here's Poch and Poch Best. And is that the name you're going by these days? Do you go by Poch? Do you go by Poch Best?
I mean, honestly, I go by Poch. You know, just straight up Poch. The best thing's my last name. So, you know, when you're going it's Instagram or on these social pages, let's say attach your last name to it. So I don't want everybody thinking that, you know, oh, he's the best, you know?
Yeah, well, nobody's thinking that. So.
Here you go. It's early enough. Started already.
But so I know that there's another Poch in Florida at Altered States, who I'm also a fan of.
That's correct.
Excellent painter and tattoo artist in his own right.
Yes.
And you spell your handle different. So what's this, how if people are Googling you, you love it when they Google you.
Yes, I do. It's awesome. You get surprised, a black man on the screen.
If people are Googling you, how should they be entering your name?
I mean, honestly, it's spelled Poch. I dropped the O out of respect for Poch in Florida. As you said before, he's an amazing artist.
Yeah.
You know, and his style has been in the game for years. You know, so out of respect, I just dropped the O so everybody want to get it confused between the two, you know.
Yeah. No, awesome, man. I mean, a lot of people wouldn't have made that concession, and it's really cool to hear you have some consideration and some respect for the guys, who were in it before you. And
of course, you got to. You have to.
That's an awesome thing. So let's go way, way, way back in the Wayback Machine.
Okay.
So where were you born?
In New York, in the Bronx.
Okay, cool. And tell us a little about your childhood. What did your mom do? What did your dad do? What was siblings? What was it like growing up?
You getting deep. This is E True Hollywood story right now.
Nobody gives a shit what kind of ink you use. We both know that's useless information.
Nah, I mean, honestly, I'm just like the same story. I'm off the average artist. You know, I'm from New York in the Bronx. I lived in the projects.
That's not the average artist. That's you. I didn't live in a fucking project.
Half of the artists in New York, who struggled to come up. I was always a painter. I drew all my life. My mother was a praying mother. She had a couple of jobs. And her thing was to keep me out of the street. It was with art.
Nice.
So every drawing thing I had, every spray can I needed, small little things like that, she always got for me. It was her way of keeping her happy and me out of trouble. So all that hard work, Alfonso kept me in school, and I kept going at it. I constantly drew all types of stuff. My mom's had 13 cats. It was nuts, Keith, nuts. We had a lot of cats growing up.
Whoa, stop. All right, you just jumped all over the place. My wife works for the ASPCA. Should we be sending a crisis team over there right now?
Yes, we should.
Because I can make that happen.
But now my mom's had a lot of cats, and when I was growing up, there was no computers or DVDs and stuff like that. So all we had was still life was our cats. So I used to sit in the house all day and draw them, and all types of portraits, all different angles.
Well, how old are you?
Now I'm 34. That's why I said that. Now I'm 34, guys.
So you're 34. So
yes.
That's good, man. So you're not saying that the shit didn't exist. It's just that you came from a place where you didn't have that shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I could say the same thing, but it's because I'm old.
Yeah, you're old as dirt.
Old on the I'm the Buddha on the hill. I got the stomach to prove it.
Yeah.
And we didn't. We didn't have the email and the internet. You looked that up on the interweb. So, but that's awesome. So you had a really supportive mom.
Yeah, I had a supportive mother. My father, he was supportive too in a certain way. He was really strong home. He's militant. He didn't believe in art was a job. He wanted me to go to school and become an architect or something like that.
What did he do?
He was a businessman for Chase Bank.
Oh, cool. So, but
an accountant, yeah. So he was like really, he's about his numbers, he's about his math, and you got to go to school, you got to do this, and nothing wrong with that. Honestly, I stayed in school, I graduated college and high school, what I'm saying? So I'm not stupid,
Oh, so you're a college graduate as well?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I have a degree in nursing.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah.
No, man, that's friggin' awesome. So yeah, it's funny. Like we've had a lot of, a lot. I've only done a handful of these, but it seems like a lot of great artists come from both situations. A lot of great artists who had strong support systems and strong families, and then some great artists who just rose out of the adversity of having a crappy family situation and. So, yeah, I mean, it just goes to show you can't really blame your environment.
No, you can't at all.
It's, what do you choose based on that environment,
Yes, what's crazy is I wouldn't change anything that happened to me in the past. Honestly, it made me grow as an artist because as I was coming up in the tattoo industry, there was not too many guys of my color, in the industry.
What color is that?
Black. I mean, honestly, I'm being honest, so that drove me. It was like, okay, it hasn't been done. I'm from the projects. I'm not going to get a chance. So honestly, I got to prove myself.
Right.
From the average artist who's staying in the village or, in Manhattan that has an opportunity and have the schooling and have that, I'm saying? It's not as easy, but it's more accepted. It's more, okay, he's cool. He went to Pratt or he went to NYU. As far as me, like, who's this black kid from the projects, So I really have to step it up,
Right. No. I mean, I agree, man. And we spoke to Patrice and Ant from Murder Inc. on the last episode.
Amazing guys.
Really cool guys. And one thing we touched on was Ant went to school and he went to college, and we were talking about when I got into it, which is a little earlier than when you got into it. It's like, I was in those shops where the guys who owned the shops wanted to keep black dudes out, wanted to keep women out, wanted to keep, everybody but white guys out pretty much, which, unfortunately, the roots of Western tattooing seem to come from a very conservative, like tight, like almost like fraternal fear, like we're going to keep all of this to ourselves, we're going to keep it tight, going to keep it close, which, imploded because now everybody has access to everything. A kid could go on Amazon and buy equipment, which is horrible. Easy. But, it's great to see the doors open culturally because some of the best artists out there, yourself, and then you've got like a Tanane Whitfield and Ron Stafari, and there's just so many.
The list goes on and on.
Yeah, they're great artists, and I don't know what it is about my affinity for black tattoo artists. I just want to have gay love with you.
You have that ghetto pass, bro. You got that. You got that ghetto pass.
Later, we're gonna lay on top of each other.
It sounds like a play.
Yeah, like two Vikings. Not
just going at it.
Yeah, nothing homosexual about it.
Ebony Ivory. Every day Ivory all day.
But you know what it is, man? I think I just always hated seeing people like shut out because I hated when, growing up, I think I always felt like I didn't fit in, I didn't belong. And that's, I'm not comparing myself at all to what minorities go through or homosexuals go through or whatever. But I was always like the long-haired, tattooed, freaky kid who didn't fit in. It was too much this way for this group and too much that way for that group. Exactly. So I think I just always had like a thing for like, for lack of a better term, for like the underdog, and I always want to like help lift that type of artist up. That's trying real hard, but has to try harder than the next guy or girl for whatever reason.
Exactly. You always done that. To be honest, like, in case the world don't know, he's my mentor.
No, I'm not.
Taught me a lot of stuff. Everybody He taught me a lot of stuff, and most people think that, oh, he probably taught him how to draw, he taught him how to tattoo. Honestly, not really on that aspect of the business. He taught me who I am as a man. Honestly, all this stuff to expect.
You're killing me, dude.
I'm being real here. I'm being real here. You know what I'm saying? It's a huge touchy subject here. Okay, but to be honest with you, he taught me how to be a man. He taught me, as an artist, I got to open up my mind more. I got to expect, certain things. If I want to be a black tattoo artist, honestly, I got to present myself in a manner that matters.
So that's your gimmick now? You're a black tattoo artist?
I mean,
how do I get in on that?
It's rough, dude. You got to have dark skin, horrible credit. You got to show up late. Like, it's fucking awesome. But seriously, like ever since Keith gave a chance to me, like, it's crazy. It's like now everybody's like, okay, well, who's this kid named Poch? He came from Keith, cool, blah, 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 boom, boom, boom. And doors opened up, because people he's white, got to stay with that. He's Asian, he got to stay with that. He's Mexican, he got to stay in California, he got to do script, he got to stay with that. You know what I'm saying? And when you came out, it was like, hey, this is my guy Poch, he's amazing. It shocked the world. It was like, oh my God, who is this dude? You know what I'm saying? Because now it's not no more split in half. You know what I'm saying? It's not it's black or urban anymore. You know what I'm saying? So
all I'm hearing is the possibility that you owe me a lot of money.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much.
I mean, all I'm hearing is like, I'm awesome and you owe me a lot of money.
Yes, I owe you like a couple of grand, brother. I'm about to hand you a check, but I'm about to post date it now.
So you mentioned the whole tag of urban, and it's funny. I wanted to talk to Ant and Patrice more about it on the mic, but we wound up talking about it more off the mic, and we have in the past. How bad does it suck that urban has kind of been linked? Because to me, what sucks about it is when I'm thinking, Urban Inc. and I'm not this is not a reference to the magazine title that they've been good to me and friends of mine in the past. So this is no direct brand attack.
Yeah,
but just the whole term Urban Inc. It's like, okay, we're Urban Inc. So all right, we're saying, okay, this is black.
Yeah.
Or what's worse is, like, if it was, I don't even know if it would be a good thing if it was serving that purpose, but it's not even serving that purpose. What it winds up doing, I think, is when I see urban whatever in art, it usually means shit. Pretty much. Urban means this stuff sucks.
And there's nobody to blame but just us. Like, it's nobody to blame, just us. It's not the magazine's problems. It's not the great guy's problem. It's us. Because, honestly, as black tattoo artists, we automatically adapt to that.
Right.
Because everybody think it's cool. You know what I'm saying? It's not. Like, I don't want that title. I'm not going to take that title.
Right.
Like, I'm an artist at the end of the day. Plain and simple.
Right.
Everything I do is push passion on. My color work, I saturate, I take my time. I work slow. I don't do anything that's stupid.
Right.
I don't want anything that has the word urban on it. Praying hands, beads, all the gang tattoos, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to be in that label.
Right.
I'm not trying to be straight in that category. That's Poch the urban guy.
Right.
Nah, honestly, I don't want that,
Well, and there's a difference between, those guys and, like our last interview and you is they're dealing with a street shop environment where they have to do more of what they have to do. Whereas, you're more in the position that I'm in at this point, probably even more so. I mean, you've surpassed me as far as popularity and clientele, but that you get to more pick and choose what it is you want to do. You spend the time doing the things you really love to do, the things that you're going to give 100%. And I think another difference, which again, it's awkward to interview, I'll just totally bare myself.
Yeah.
It's awkward to interview black artists because I don't even know if I should be calling you a black artist. Is that prejudice?
It fit in the category. Like, it's one of those things. Like, you can't hide from it.
And the only reason I want to say it is because I'm trying to
change it.
Not change it, because I don't look at myself as any fucking anybody. You know what I mean? It's more my curiosity because I'm not a black artist and I didn't go through what you're going through and what Patrice has gone through and I have a natural curiosity about it because, like I said, it's like, I know how hard it is to do shit and have the wind at my back at certain points. Yeah. But I've also been through shit where I've had to go way uphill.
Yeah.
but yeah, no. So the thing I was getting at is, ultimately the right thing is everybody's just artists.
That's pretty much it.
There ain't no black artist, Mexican artist.
Art at the end of the day.
You're an artist. You're Poch, you're a tattoo artist.
That's it, plain and simple.
So what would you say needs to happen and who would you address this advice to for the labels to be dropped, and for like earlier you said, well, it's our fault.
Yeah.
What would you tell young artists about how they should be working their work ethic? Just advice to young, because a lot of young artists listen to the podcast because they want to hear their heroes. They see your work.
Yeah.
They're listening to this because they love your work, and they see you, and maybe they see you like, hey man, if he's doing this, I could do this. But they don't know the behind the scenes. They see television and this and that, and they don't know what's the real. What would you say to those people about, to get to the level that you're at, what had to happen and what should they be working on?
Okay, what had to happen first and foremost is if the older guys around you who's been doing this for years is talking, you got to stay quiet. It's hard to listen when you're talking. Obviously they've been in the industry for years on end, and they have a lot of input to give, so you really have to listen to them. I mean, in this tattoo industry nowadays, I'm sorry to say, guys, it's separate things. It's either you want the art or you want the money. You can't have them both. It's really rough. And Keith taught me that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's pretty much, you have to know as a person, as an artist, plain and simple, okay, this is what I want to do. I'm not going to sit up here and settle. I'm going to concentrate on things that I need to concentrate on and focus. You have to give a lot. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants, I do a portrait, he got to give me $1,200. It's not how it works. You want to do a portrait, you want to advertise your pieces, you got to go out there and give them out for free. You got to advertise yourself in the right way.
Sure.
Another thing too is presentation. If you don't want to be labeled as a hip hop guy, then honestly, you can't come to work all scuffied out. Have your hat to the back, have on jeans. I mean, honestly, the black thing on black tattoo artists, and I hate saying that, is that everybody has a certain persona. Everybody has a certain image they got to uphold. You know what I'm saying? I got to make money to make Jordans. Like, dude, like, come on, man. This is art first. Like, all that other stuff comes later. Right. You got to concentrate on your art. You know what I'm saying? So everybody wants to do Harris Street Shop. It's a quick little name. Ain't no problem. I'll take it.
What is it? What is it?
A small little name or like a kanji or whatever. Like they just snatch it up.
Okay.
Or pretty much, it's sneaker money. You can't think like that. There's much more other thing that you can do. You got artists who tattoos all day and don't draw and don't paint.
Right.
Honestly, we had a conversation about 2 months ago about that.
Right.
You got these guys with book bags don't even have a drawing pad in their book bag. How you can see yourself as an artist or you want to grow if you don't educate yourself.
Right.
How many artists I see, Poch, your artwork is amazing. I can't believe a black tattoo that's like you is handling color. But he don't go to school for color theory. He don't pick up a book. Everything is handed to us now.
And what difference does it make that you're a black tattooist?
Exactly.
See, now, what I was going to strike on earlier is, to me, and please correct me if you think like I'm wrong about this, the main difference, and it's out of anybody's control, I think, at first, until you like do what you did and kind of make a shift in your mentality about what you will and won't do. I think the main difference I see is, if you're a minority tattoo artist and you plant yourself in a minority neighborhood, you're working on a lot of dark skin.
Exactly. You hit it right on the head. And it come back to what I said. The Jordan money, the chain money. He's hood rich. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'd rather stay in the projects to know he's going to make that $100 every minute. Like, he's stagnant and content with, having Jordan and sneaker money and staying local. He won't travel anywhere else out of the hood.
So is this what led to your traveling bug? Is that you wanted like better skin to feature your color work on?
It's not even skin. It was just off the attitude around me, the people around me. I want positive people around me.
Right.
I don't want nobody that's negative. And you stay in the hood. I mean, in the hood, there's people that want to get out. I'm gonna keep it 100. Like, there's people that want to get out of the hood and they can't because they stuck. Or because the Jordan money, again, chain money, and they content with staying there. You got people who don't want to travel.
I feel so uncomfortable at 40 as a 45-year-old white guy. Can I go say Jordan money and chain money?
But it's sad. Like, these artists are like, hey, Poch, I want to grow. Hey, Poch, I want to do this. I want to do that. But at the same time, you won't say no.
What's that like for you now? Because, I mean, you were always... for the majority of the time I've known you, you were on the other side of asking for advice, and
I still do.
And now, well, of course, me too. And when you stop doing that, you're dead.
Yeah.
But now you're a guy people ask questions. So what's it like to be in that role of being like a mentor or a role model? Or...
It keeps me on my toes. hands down.
In what way?
In every way.
Could you share like a specific story? Or?
Yeah. Boom, as a matter of fact, I can. I went to a show in Costa Rica. It was amazing out there. Definitely humbled me because a lot of artists out there don't have the money that we have, you know, so tattoos out there are much cheaper. Had this one guy come up and he goes, hey, Poch, I've been looking at your work for 2 years now and I've seen the progress, you know, I've seen you growing, you know, boom, boom. And I'm like, wow, you know, that's amazing. And he was like, you know, I want to be you. I'm like, what? Like,
that's heavy.
Yeah, it's real heavy, you know, because here I am, a black man, and I'm speaking to a guy who's white who wants to be me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, to me, it's like,
I don't think that's what he meant.
but it like definitely like, you know, it shocked me, Keith, because it was like, damn, all this hard work paid off.
I don't know what I'm going to do with your laugh, man. Your laugh peaks out.
Yo, it's contagious.
It peaks out every meter on the computer when you laugh. When you laugh real hard, you got to back up a little bit from that mic.
So I toned it down.
No, man. You be you.
But you know, it's definitely humbling, Keith. Like, it's like, wow, you know, you got these artists look up to me, and it keeps you on my toes because, for now, I want to be more. You know, I don't want to sit up here and have them down. You know, I don't want them to have a conversation with me and I sound ignorant.
Right.
You know, and I don't understand certain things. So now I go home, you know, and practice certain things, and I read certain books, and I pick up certain things to try to educate myself.
You don't read any fucking
yes,
books.
I do. I read books a lot now.
What's the last book you read? What book are you reading right now?
Of honesty,
I'll give you the end of the book. Spot runs at the end.
See Spot Run? The book I'm on right now is Ian's book. I'm the tattoo artist, Casting Shadows.
Oh yeah, sure.
Ian Roberts. I'm stuck on that book right now, and it shocks people because I do color.
Right.
So everybody's like, well, I don't want to stay on hockey. How can be picking up all these black and gray books? Because you got to understand shadows first before you get into that.
Man.
You know, everything
values.
Is
everything is values.
Everything.
Color is secondary. People don't realize that.
Exactly.
I didn't learn that until I interviewed a lot of guys. Like, even before I was doing anything like interviewing like this, it was one of the seeds of this idea, not to hijack your interview, is all the conversations that I've had with artists over the years on the phone or just chilling out. And I'm like, man, you know, I think people would be interested if they were a fly on the wall during these conversations. They'd hang with them and listen and learn and get different perspectives. But yeah, man, in my pursuit to master color, which I still haven't, what I learned was the guys whose color was most impressive to me. Painting, and you know me, I'm an outside tattoo guy and tattoo guy.
Yeah.
The common advice I was getting blew my mind. It was, you know what, man, I don't know. They would say, they would email me back or tell me on the phone, dude, really, I don't know a lot about color theory. I just make sure my values are straight, and if my values are straight, my piece works. Yeah. And then I use the colors that, you know, I want for the emotion I want or the mood I want.
Yeah.
And then, you know, other people who are well versed in color theory, you know, and then I took it kind of like you took it upon myself, because my education is not in art, to, you know, self-educate about color theory, and it's awesome. I mean, there are scientific theories to color, and once you learn the rules, you can break the rules.
Exactly. It's endless.
Yeah.
It's endless. You know, so right now, I'm reading right now. Like, I really don't, like, I was playing this, to a few friends earlier today. You know, like, I look at YouTube every now and then. You know, I really don't study other people's art. You know, I really like to read right now. You know what I'm saying? Educate myself off of tattooing.
What other books do you have on the table other than that one?
Ian Roberts' book. There's a book. Oh, this amazing artist. He's not even a tattoo artist. I forgot his last name, but his first name is Paul. You know, I know it sounds crazy, but his name starts with a K, and it's weird. But he's a sculpting artist, and stuff, he does 3D art. You know, and it's O'Keefe. It shocked me, dude. Like, it was just amazing on how certain shadows.
Oh, I think is he a Japanese guy? Komodo?
Yes.
Yeah,
that has to be his name. It's mind blowing. Like, and it's not even about tattooing. It's not even about drawing. It's about sculpting and 3D art. You know, and it's understanding shapes and values, and when you turn certain things, casting light, and it's just, I'm learning so much on that, and my tattoo art is definitely progressing. Man,
sculpting is something I picked up about a year ago, and I had always played with it, but, you know, trying to apply myself, and luckily becoming friends with guys like Andy Villafane. I just totally combined their names. That's if they had a baby, it would be named. Andy Villafane, Ray Villafane, and Andy Bergholtz, who are both master sculptors who do everything from action figures to 2-3-story sand sculptures. And I was lucky enough to have Andy Bergholtz here to give a seminar on sculpting.
Wow.
But the more that you sculpt, it's just like you said, sculpting. One of the quotes in one of the sculpting videos or books, because I'm like you, I'm information addicted. I just want as much information as I can have.
Yes.
One of the things I read about sculpting, which like set off a bomb in my head, was sculpting is all about the shadows you create.
Yes.
So if you don't light your area correctly when you're sculpting,
Yep.
you don't really get it, because what you're doing is you're drawing with shadows. Mm-hmm. And that just went boom. And then I brought it into my sketching. I'm trying to bring it into my tattooing.
I put it all into my tattooing.
Yeah.
All into it. It definitely, it helps you out. It helps you understand certain things better. You know, it guides you. You know, definitely guides you. So I'll tell any artist, man, you know, hop off a tattooing for a minute,
right,
and pick up a book, you know, and educate yourself on other things.
Sure.
It'll definitely help your tattooing out a lot.
Man, while we're on sculpting, I'll drop a few names that if you don't know them already, you know, for you and for the audience. Simon Lee. Everybody should check out Simon Lee. Check out Jordu Shell.
Okay.
Check out, obviously, Andy and Ray. Check out the Shiflett brothers. Check out Anthony Watkins. Just go on Sideshow Toys website, and check out the collectibles there. Some amazing sculptors who work for Sideshow Toys. So anyway, just a little sculpting aside there.
No problem. I'm definitely jotting that down.
So you're in the Bronx. You're drawing. Your mom real supportive, and your dad a little more conservative.
Yeah.
You attended high school in the Bronx?
Yeah, I went to Cardinal Hayes.
And how was your high school career?
It was cool. Like it was really hard, because it's trying to understand yourself, you know, as an artist. You know, as I said before, my dad was like, he's really business savvy, so he wanted me to go in a certain direction, and I wanted art. So it was one of those things. It was kind of hard, you know. Hey, Poch, stay in school. You got to do this. You got to concentrate on this. I was just stuck on history and science, because science was about the body. Or for history, you know what I'm saying, it was educating me on art. So I just wanted those two sides. My dad was like, no, you got to do math. You're gonna stay after school and do this. You got to, because honestly, he's paying for it. You know, it's a Catholic school, so I have no say. So you know, he was paying for that. You know, so you know, it was a lot of doubts and questions in high school. You know, so I slacked off a little bit.
Right.
You know, but then I went to North Carolina. And I went to college out there, you know, and college out there, I found myself, you know, like, I wanted to be a tattoo artist, you know, I wanted to do this. And I figured straight after college, I'm going to travel for 8 years. So for 8 years, I just went all up and down the East Coast and the West Coast, you know, everywhere.
All right, hold on right there. We're going to take a short break.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, because I want to pick it up somewhere between college and high school.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back. Hey, we're back.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
Hold on, wait a minute.
He broke it.
I broke it.
Broke it.
So, okay, we last left. Oh wait, let me take care of this. That was good. Okay. All right, let's get back to the interview. So, when we last left you, you were talking about your transition from high school.
Yes.
So, what year did you graduate high school? The toilet is still running on.
I graduated high school in 2001.
Okay.
Yeah.
And big graduating class?
No, it's kind of a small class. Yeah.
Was there a high dropout rate in that school?
Yeah, it was a major high dropout rate. You know, with all the stuff going on in the streets of New York, you know, straight in the projects, you know, a lot of kids, they got into drugs and money. You know, other stuff was more important than that. You know, so I just definitely just stuck with it. My pops was not trying to hear it. I paid for this, dude. You gonna stay? Like, you gonna stay?
So how did you avoid the pitfalls of you know, getting involved with drugs, getting involved with money, getting
honestly, the grace of God and my mother. You know, I got to give it to my mom's and the grace of God. You know, like she definitely was a praying mother, and her thing was, and it was crazy because her schematic was, okay, Poch, you love tattooing. Okay, you want to go to the village? Cool. If you give me B's and A's, I'll let you go to the village and hang out on the weekends and buy me like all these expensive art stuff. I didn't have a job in high school. Right. Who does? Right. You know, like I'm staying with my parents. I'm chilling.
Right.
You know, so her gimmick was that. You know, honestly, I work hard, and if you go to school and hand me these grades, I'll get you whatever I want to get you.
Right.
So I was like, bet, Mom, cool. I'm gonna hang out in the village all day. You know, You know what I'm saying? So I bought her the A's and B's, and next thing she knows, she's like, all right, listen, I want C's and D's now because I'm going broke. You know, because I wanted to go to the village all the time to learn tattooing. Like I was in Andromeda, you know, St. Mark's Place.
All right, so let's back up. So while you're in New York, what is it between high school and the next part of the story? What attracts you? What was the light bulb for tattooing? When did that go off? I mean, you were already into art. You were drawing. Your mom was supportive of your creative talent. Yeah. What was the thing that made you say, oh, you know what? I don't want to be a painter. I don't want to be this. I don't want to be that professionally. Yeah. You know, I know you do all those things, but I want a tattoo. So what was the thing? I mean, for me, it was looking at my dad. My dad had tattoos, and the bands that I liked had tattoos, and I thought the girls that I liked guys with tattoos. What was it for you?
You know, honestly, it wasn't a music thing. It wasn't even, it was just, you know, to be honest, Keith, like I was a graph painter, you know, I was a painter, you know, I drew a lot, you know, I drew on notebooks as a kid. It was just, the thing that shocked me the most, it was, wow, I could put my artwork on somebody's skin and it'll stay forever.
What, do you remember the exact moment that you realized that? Was it seeing a tattoo on somebody?
Yes, I'm going to bring it back. There's an artist named Tom.
Okay.
Old school guy from Detroit.
Okay.
Okay, if I'm not mistaken, his name, I can never pronounce his name. I always get it wrong.
Tom Renshaw?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, Tom. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to script your day too bad. But like, he did these series of bears.
Yeah, his wildlife tattoos are like nobody else's.
Man, and you know, at the time when I was coming up, there was certain magazines that was out. You know, that was okay, that was cool.
Sure.
But when he came out in the magazine, and then after him, Dino Cook, O'Neal. You know, like all these. All right, let me clear something. Everybody thinks that Nico Hurtado started the portrait game, and these guys. I mean, these guys are masters at it. I'm not taking anything from them. But there's older guys in this industry who's been doing it for a long time, like a long time.
Oh yeah, sure.
You know, so seeing their work, it was just like, oh my God, I was just shocked. Like, he doing portraits on skin.
Right.
Oh, I'm stuck. This is what I want to do. I'm sold. You know, so I traveled a lot. You know, I stayed in the village all the time. And in St. Mark's Place, we all know, it's street shops. You know what I'm saying? So I went down every street shop trying to see who artists had that.
Around what year is that?
This is 95, 6.
Oh, okay. So that's even before 96 they lifted the ban.
Exactly.
So this was at the tail end of the ban. And
everything was still underground.
Yeah, the 5 boroughs, it was still illegal.
Yeah.
So what did you have down there? You had Fun City and...
That's pretty much it. Fat Cats.
Yeah, Kevin.
You know, honestly, their shop was amazing. You know, so, you know, and I was young, so I couldn't go into the shop. So it was like, hey, kid, you can't come inside here. Leave. And in our time, it was not seen a black tattoo artist. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, hey, kid, you can't sit out here.
But that's Queens, right?
No, that was in the Bronx. No, it was in Manhattan. It was in Manhattan for a little while, yeah.
Oh, so there must be a different Fat Cat.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing. It was the shop didn't last long, but it was some amazing underground artists inside of it. You know, so like I was constantly inside there, and then over the years, Plash, you had Andromeda came out.
Right.
You had Whatever Tattoos. was out there. And I used to always sense out that you had seen he opened up a shop in Manhattan at the time.
Absolutely, yeah, Richie.
And, so I was always out there, just checking out the scene, always getting kicked out. But I was a kid sitting outside, just drawing the stuff outside.
So how old were you in 96, roughly? You were underage at that point?
Yeah, I was way underage. I was 96, I was 16.
Oh, okay. So you're just
15, somewhere around there, yeah.
Little punk kid wants to get in the tattoo
little fro,
shop.
Yeah, had the baggy pants on, and it was hard, because it was underage kids and you couldn't really go inside there like that, know. So I used to sit outside and draw all day, stare at people, holding a pencil, or the guys in the village just sitting on a bench. I used to draw them, and there was an artist, I'll never forget his name. His name was Jay, and he was at Andromeda, and he took heed of it, and he was like, "Yo, this guy's dope." Like he's coming over here every day and he's drawing.
He saw your dedication.
He seen my drive, So he was like, "Hey, buddy, look, I can't give you much, but if you sit out here and draw some tattoo designs, I'll give you some money." So in my time, of a single sketch, $10, I was stoked.
You were like, yeah.
So
Twinkies
and Ohos, ring pops, So I was stoked. So it kept me pushing, Keith. It kept me going.
So this was the guy who really gave you
he
your
was
first
the guy that
break,
really,
even though you we't tattooing. He gave you the first kind of acknowledgement, like he validated your efforts.
Exactly. And then after that, I traveled around. I went to Queens. I hit Brooklyn for a little while. Just traveling.
So
around.
you still like being a gypsy at this point? Like you're traveling around with your sketchbook, just like knocking around?
No, I'm still in California now. I'm still
No. I mean, at this point in the story,
yeah. Like I was just a gypsy. At 13, 15, you can hop on a train and go wherever you want to go to, straight to New York.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So at this point, I wasn't tattooing yet. I was tattooing, but it was like a small machine from Spalding and Rogers. Had Millennium Ink from Moms. Like I had small little kits in the project, so all my friends let me try on them.
And where was this happening? Like at a clubhouse or in your house? Or?
No, it was in my house. My moms would go off of work, and I sneak the guys in, and hey, small little name here and there,
right?
And after a while, I noticed that the more I traveled to different whole barrels,
right,
it was different styles.
True.
Like it was mind blowing. You stayed in the Bronx. It was more it was the graph guys. It was Scene. You had Med. You had all those guys who was graph guys. Hit Brooklyn, it was more or less like the old school style. You know what I'm saying? Hit Manhattan, it was new school.
Right.
And a tad bit of old school here in the traditional work, And it was mind blowing to me. Like every whole borough I went to, it was different. So on Poch's mind, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go out of the state.
Do you just refer yourself into the third person?
You got to sometimes. You got to step out of your element. But like I just traveled a lot, and as I traveled, I gained so much more. I had people giving it to me real.
Right.
Like, hey, Poch, your work sucks. I'm being honest. The first time I met Keith, I'm gonna put this on blast, everybody. I met Keith in a show.
I could just shut your mic when you say something.
I met Keith in a show in Worcester, and he was doing this amazing whole piece for Frankenstein, and it still shocked the game even now. And I came up to him. I said, "Hey, Keith, how you doing?" He was like, "Hey, buddy, how's it going?" I said, "Listen, here's a few of my samples of my work. I want you to have a look at it." It was an Iron Man I did. Gave it to me honestly and brutal. Dude, keep on drawing. It's not terrible, but at the same time, it's not good. I never looked back to them and said, he's a fucking asshole.
I said it wasn't good?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Don't be. Don't be, because at that moment, I knew if an artist of your stature can say it's not bad, but it's not good, it's not terrible.
You know what it is, man? You came to me and asked, and you wanted an honest opinion,
exactly.
And I gave it to you. And one of the ways I've changed over the years is I used to give my opinion to people who didn't want it.
Yeah.
So that I've tried to stop. Other than this podcast where I get to give my opinions, and if you don't like it, don't download it.
But that changed my life, And then the more I travel, the more I went a few other places, things change,
But me, dude, I'm a spiritual person. I'll tell you why. Well, I can't tell you why. That was a very interesting convention for me. Certain people just popped to me, and you were one of the people when I was walking around. You were in an area, a bunch of black dudes, and I'm such an idiot. I'm the guy who walks into a group of black dudes, and I stand there at the tattoo convention, and when somebody looks at me, I'm like, "What's up? You want to fight?"
Yeah.
And of course they do exactly that. They start laughing because they know I'm kidding, because I'm going to get thumped. There's like 85 black guys and me.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to fight, but I just like, you got to break the tension.
Yeah, you got to.
Because they're like, who the hell is this guy? He just walked in like he's fucking owns the place.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I'm like, what do you want to fight?
But it breaks the ice though, and it's cool. And I'm glad we got guys like you in the industry who definitely give it to us real. Because it changes our mindset on the way we think. As you said before, like straight in the show, I had a bunch of black guys around me. And I'm not trying to say,
but and nothing against those guys.
Nah, it's not. Those guys are amazing guys.
You stuck out to me. Something about just the way you were carrying yourself.
Exactly.
You had a humility. You had that kind of like X Factor thing where you had like a nice personality, you were humble, and you were friendly, but it wasn't like you were friendly like you were sucking anybody's cock. You were you seemed like a really approachable guy.
Exactly.
And like you were there and you were excited to be there. Like you were reflecting back a lot of positive vibes about what was going on at that show that was positive.
Yeah.
Now, I'll share a story with you about that show. I showed up at that show, and at the advice of a friend, I think it was only the second one they had ever thrown, and I saw you and a few other people that I knew from my career, and then we set up and blah, 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 blah. So a guy comes up to me, and he goes, oh man, Keith Ciaramello, you're my favorite tattooer at this convention. And I just looked at the guy and I'm thinking to myself, man, this must be a shitty fucking convention. Because who the fuck am I, So it turns out the next day I look over and I'm looking at the guy's work, and now he's a big name. It was Chad Chase.
Yeah.
So, when I saw what he could do, I was like, I'm this guy's favorite tattoo artist at this convention. So that was humbling for me.
And you still are. And you're still fan favorites. Like, you're still an artist's favorite.
I suck. Everybody fucking blew by me. I look at everybody's work now. I'm like, damn, everybody left me in their dust. I just remember my experience with him was awesome because, and that's a shitty thing that it should have meant a lot to me no matter who he was, but it meant even more to me when I saw what he was doing and I respected what he was doing.
Yeah.
And then I remember meeting you, and I had a really good experience with Alex Rios.
Yes. Amazing tattoo artist.
Yeah. And I was handing out a lot of advice at that convention, but it was weird because at that time I had put out the first DVD, so guys were asking me questions.
Yes.
So like I said, it wasn't necessarily me just giving out free advice. It was like I had some weird kind of name recognition at that convention versus other conventions I had been at prior, mostly I think due to the DVD and some magazine stuff that had dropped. But yeah, man, just, that was a really good opportunity for me to kind of get a feel on how I was being perceived outside of my little pond. You know what I mean?
Got you.
Which, I'm going to throw that back at you. So now, we all go home at night and we know what we think about ourselves.
Yeah.
What do you think about yourself? And then how do you think you're being perceived right now by the tattoo consuming public, whether it be the internet or whatever?
Me, artistically, I feel like I can still grow, but I'm definitely comfortable straight at the time I'm at now. Honestly, off the image I'm perceiving right now, I love it because you look at Poch, he's happy, he's full of life. Honestly, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't hang around nobody who does drugs. So all my inner circle is positive people. So everything around me is positive and presented in a good manner. So nobody can ever say, "Oh, Poch is a sloppy drunk guy," or he was this, or he was the black guy that was hanging out, or he has a hat to the back, or he has on a hoodie. Because it's a sad thing to say when you go to a convention, you got people who don't approach you well because you have on, it's a hat and hoodie because it's stereotype.
Right.
So I really got to come to a show clean shaven, have a nice haircut, having a t-shirt, to have people who want to come.
How shitty is it to be judged
Keith,
in an environment where the white guys have beards down to their fucking nipples?
Thank you. Thank
They
you.
all look like Duck fucking Dynasty, and you're getting a hard time.
Small little story. I was in Long Island Expo, and I did a portrait of Nico Hurtado when he was next to me. And a guy came up, seen the work, fell in love with it. Came up to the booth again, he wanted to do a realistic tiger. Came up, seen me, he was like, oh, I can't get to, no. Before I could even say anything, everybody around me, and Nico, said something. Yo, he's amazing, dude. Like, you're going to judge him off of appearance and not judge him off of the artwork that he just did? That's sad.
Yeah.
You know, and it's crazy that everybody thinks that I'm going to flip first. It doesn't bother me anymore because you got ignorant people that's going to do that. You know, so as an artist, all I can do is not have that stereotype. You know, I won't have on a fitted hat. You know, even if I want to, and it shouldn't matter if I have on a fitted hat. It shouldn't matter if I have on a hoodie. It really shouldn't.
I like the way you look in a fitted hat.
I like it. You know, it's comfortable. You got hop up in the morning.
It's better than that fucked up head of yours.
You know, but honestly, it's comfortable wear. But you know what? I have to go over and beyond than the other artists.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got a guy next to me who was sloppy drunk Saturday, smells like booze, and not even shaved. He'll get more clientele than what I will.
All right, now I'm gonna play like devil's advocate here because I'm sure there are gonna be people who listen to this who say, "Oh man, fucking Poch, that's selling out. You're not being yourself. You're not wearing your hat. You're not wearing your hoodie." Now, what would you say?
It's not me selling out.
So what do you say to the person who says, "Hey man, you know, why do all that shit? Does it make a fucking difference?"
It makes a major difference. This presentation to me is everything. You understand what I'm saying? I want people to look at my artwork and not who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, stay at what I can do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you hold a conversation with me, you know, you talk to me, I'm the most coolest guy in the world. But you got to have people come to you.
Easy does it.
You know, honestly, you got to have people come to you. You know, so if you're not presentable in a manner,
right,
you got clients going to look at you like, oh, he's that urban feel. Again, I'm trying to change that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm trying to let people know that it don't matter if you're black, Asian, you're female, you're white, whatever. If you have talent, you have talent, you know, and it shouldn't matter off that. But as a black man, I really got to present myself in a matter it fits itself, because you got people got stereotype where, oh, he got on Jordans and he got his hat to the back and he got on a hoodie, he must have been a killer, or he got a tattoo on his face, so he had to kill somebody. That's not necessarily the case, you know. Like, I mean, honestly, I got a huge tattoo on my face of a teardrop. Everybody swept down. I killed like 8 people, dude. I've never held a gun a day in my life. I've never shot a BB gun, you know, like. It's something for me, for my mother. You understand what I'm saying? But people won't know that until they ask me. But I have to be approachable.
Right.
You know, so everything I do, like my portfolio book, is different. It's not a typical, you know, whole bunch of pictures stacked in a book.
Right.
You know, my portfolio book has each page has its own tattoo.
No, you're awesome with presentation, man.
It's everything. You know?
I'm proud of you when it comes to that, because, you know, my whole thing is, you know me, man. My whole thing is everything counts. Exactly. Everything counts.
And that's what I learned.
And I love, and it's something I share with people who've worked here. You know, they set up their station to do a tattoo, and they see me set up my station to do a tattoo. Mm-hmm. And if it comes up, I'm like, listen, I was like, look at your fucking station, man. I said, I want you to do something. Go on Facebook right now and look up Poch. He puts up pictures of his fucking setup. He put up more pictures of his setup than his tattoos.
Yeah, Nico would give you shit for that so much.
And I said, look at the fucking setup, though. That's a good picture. That picture makes me want to be tattooed by that guy. I don't care if there's no art in the picture. The tattoo setup is fucking...
Everything matter.
It's set up. It's like all your soldiers are in a line. I'm like, this guy's on a fucking mission.
Exactly. I'm trying to show people that presentation, cleanliness, and everything is important. Like,
right.
I'm very anal on that. You know, I'm very on clean shaved and, you know, having your area clean. You know, like, I'm very, very OCD when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And because I'm so OCD with that, it shows in my tattooing, because everything is right there. You know, I don't have to sit up here and have extra bottles poured out, or you know, have to reach over something. Everything is right there and it's on point, so I can focus on my art and my art only. I don't have to concentrate on nothing else.
Oh no, we definitely share that, man. I like to have everything where it needs to be, and then I could just do the art, because it's hard enough to do the art.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
Which is one of the reasons. You know, I know you're like me. You use rotary.
With a Hawk, yes, that's my machine.
Yeah, right now I'm using the Thunder. Which one are you using?
The Spirit and the Thunder.
Yeah, I have both. I've been kind of relying. You're going to give me a tattoo lesson today because we're going to tag team my man Jerry.
It's going to be awesome.
I'm going to post some. You'll see pictures of the session that we do today on tattoomentor.com. They'll either be the pictures or a link to a gallery of the pictures, or maybe possibly some video.
Yeah.
But yeah, now it comes full circle. It's like this is like Star Wars, man. Now the teacher has become the master. The student has become the master. I fucked it up.
It's great, man. You know, it's awesome to look back and be like, you know, this is all the stuff I gained. Like, this is all the stuff, you know, I learned from so many artists, you know, and coming up. And it's more to when to just stand at an artist and look at his work and critique his work and try to pull certain things out. You know, I don't look at that anymore. You know, when I take a class with somebody, I want him to be emotionally involved. You know, I want to ask him personal questions, you know,
right.
Straight as a man, because in tattooing, it sucks, man. Like, everybody knows I'm married and I have a daughter. I never have time with them, you know, because I'm always on the road, you know. So it's a lot of guys in this industry who's well known and who's older than me, and I try to ask them for balance because it's hard. You know, it's hard to have a personal life and it's road tattoo life. You know, it's rough. It's very rough.
Well, that's a question I've been asking almost everybody who's sat in the hot seat over there that has kids and a wife. You know, how do they go about being a regular guy who wants to have a family and being a tattoo artist? How are you handling that?
I mean, honestly, I have a supportive wife, you know, who definitely, you know, who sees what I want. You know what I'm saying? Like, she definitely is like, all right, this is what you want. You have to go get it. You move to California, and now you know, I'm like, you're doing it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So she don't have no problem sitting on the back seat for a little while and letting me do my thing, and then hopefully, you know, everything will be okay.
So she understands that this is just a season.
Exactly.
It's not going to go on like this forever.
Exactly. She understands. And what I'm trying to do right now is pave the way to where I can stay stagnant. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm steady.
Steady,
you know,
right.
so where
stability.
Yeah, stability. To where you know, I have 8 tattoos a week.
Right.
You know, and I can do whatever I got to do, and then have 3 days off with my family.
Right.
You know, and spend time with them. So that's what I'm working on straight right now. You know, because it's easier for her. She's like, baby, you got to do it. You call me every day. You text me. You email me. That's cool. Right. But as far as me as a dad and as a husband, it's rough with my daughter. You know what I'm saying? I just feel right now she's 4 years old.
I know, she's beautiful, man.
You know, I appreciate that so much, bro. And there's so much I'm missing. You know, like there's like, you know, she go to the pool, she go to the beach. Well, honestly, I get pictures, but it's not the same, man. You know, so definitely for all you tattoo artists out there, you know, that have loved ones, you got to have support. You know, you got to understand where they're coming from and understand that this is a job. You know, if you don't have no tattoos, it should be drawing or networking, doing something for 8 hours a day. If you're not doing something that got to do with art, you're wasting your time, man.
Right.
Like,
well, I say that to people too that I've shared studio space with. I mean, if you don't have a tattoo today, don't be texting and playing words with friends or reading fucking Harry Potter books.
None of that.
You know, bust out your sketchbook and work out some visual problems. You know, problem solve, and don't practice on people. Practice in your sketchbook, and there's always something to do. There's always something to learn.
It's always something to learn. And people, honestly, artists, I know how it is, man. It's rough. You know, I bet you all y'all sitting and saying, yeah, that's easy for you to say. You know, you're doing cool pieces and you're making this money. But of honestly, a whole 2 years ago, I didn't have that money.
Right.
You know, I didn't have that clientele, but I was still drawing. You know, you have to apply yourself. If you're not applying yourself, then what are you trying to gain here?
You know, you know, real creative people, and I wish I was a really creative person. super creative people who have like that prolific gift where they're just constantly turning out art. It's a thing where it's a disease. Like I interviewed those guys, and Ant sat there. I think he did 3 iPad drawings while I was interviewing. I didn't mention it during the interview because I didn't want to blow up his spot or anything. But I'm like, man, this kid's he's knocking out sketches while he's doing an interview. Like
that's crazy.
And it's like, I've had the pleasure of working with some pretty heavy dudes and also, at conventions and trade shows and whatnot. The guys who are like the top, tippy top, they're always drawing. Always. They can't. I mean, if they're at the bar, they're drawing on a napkin. If they're at the restaurant, they're drawing on the on the placemat. They can't put down the pencil.
They can't, because it's you got kids coming up 2 years in, Keith, who's watching YouTube, who's looking at your videos. And like embarrassing, like, you 2 years in, dude.
Oh, I don't even post my work anymore. Everybody's better than me now.
It's crazy, man. So it's like you gotta stay on your toes.
Yeah.
You know, everybody thinks after the convention, like, all these tattoo guys. You know, it's these TV shows, man. Like, they think that, you know, after the convention we're out partying, we are hanging out.
Well, let's talk about that.
Yes, please talk about that.
What do you we'll touch on two subjects.
Yes, we can touch on a lot of them. We can touch on a lot of them.
We're gonna need a two-parter because
pretty much.
We got to get to tattoo.
I got a touchy
Jerry.
subject for these if she shows, man.
But every time you come, man, we could do one of these.
Yeah.
I don't think people are gonna get tired of hearing you, man.
Nah, I don't think not either. I got a lot of stuff to say. Trust me, I got a lot of stuff to say.
But so two things. So we'll go with the typical one that I think everybody wants to hear, especially the non-tattoo people. Pros and cons of the TV show phenomenon that's, you know, and it's been going on for a long while. I mean, people don't realize Miami Ink was a long time ago.
Yes.
So the pros and cons of tattoo television.
Okay. Here's my thing. The pros to it, I'm going to start with the good things first. The pros to it is definitely having people understand that there's different style of tattooing. You know, there's more people coming out of this who's being educated. You know, like, okay, a cover up is not going to happen because of this, or, you know, stuff like that. Now, I don't have nothing against the guys on the show. I know Big Gus. He's my homie. He's like my brother. You know, I know half of the guys on Ink Masters. I know half of the guys on Black Ink. You know, Caesar and Duchess is like family to me. You know, I love them to death. But a lot of stuff that they portray on the show, I'm not feeling. You know, like, if you want to impress me doing a TV show, I want to have those guys, you know, at the end of the tattoo, give the price and show the split. You know what I'm saying? I want to have the guy show like his struggle on how he tattooed Tuesday and he ain't got no tattoos in between the week.
And file that under this will never happen.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know, so it's like it's never gonna happen because everybody likes drama, and that's cool. It sells. You know.
So wait. So stop. So. Do you mean to tell me that world famous Poch tattoos, there's weeks where you don't have work?
Of honesty, I'm gonna let it be known. Yeah, it's weeks I don't have work.
No, me too, man.
You know, like everybody thinks like, you know, all these amazing tattoo artists, they booked up all day. Dude, I still give away free tattoos. You know, like I'm still a human being at the end of the day. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a machine.
Right.
So there's certain things I won't do. There's certain things I will do. I do need time off for myself.
Right.
You know, it's whether I won't do a tattoo, and because I'm so high in demand, I'm so expensive, I don't have so many people coming into me, to grab tattoos.
Look at you.
So I have weeks where I
fancy special guy.
So I have weeks I don't do tattoos, and if you go on Instagram, I post up free tattoos here and now and there because I know where I came from.
Right.
You know, and if I stop and I say I'm not doing nothing because he's not going to pay me, I'm not going to get nowhere. You know,
right.
Like I definitely want to keep it grounded to where okay, Poch is expensive, but you know what? I do still give away free tattoos. I still draw. I still paint. I still give away prints. You know, like I'm an artist at the end of the day. That's all I care about.
Right.
You know? Everything else comes last. You know?
No, man. I mean, believe me, just from being around you, that's one of the reasons I like spending time with you. Is you're sincere about art and you're passionate about art, and that's it. I mean, I can geek out on art all day. You know me.
Yeah.
Okay, so and off of the television thing, let's talk about what it's like to be clean and sober and be a tattoo artist, because I've been in clean and sober for about 16 years now, and
proud of you, bro.
Thanks. Not by, I don't know if it was by choice.
It was by the band.
I think it was the divine intervention, because if it was up to me, I think I'd still be fucked up. But so talk about, because I've been out of the scene since probably, I don't know, 2010, 2011. I kind of pulled back on my travel schedule. I'm more content to just be at home in my studio.
Totally.
But not to say you guys won't see me on the road, but not as often until further notice.
Yes.
But I do notice struggle, because, I mean, I found myself come 10:30, 11 o'clock at night on the circuit. Guys I had spent all day having fun with, you know, the fucking Mr. Hyde came out, and it was like, I don't even want to be around this guy.
Yeah.
You know, they were either drunk or high, or, you know, they were telling me all day how great their wife was, and then they're tickling some waitress's ass.
Yeah.
You know, at 11:30 at night with a buzz on, and I'm like, man, dude, you're not real.
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, having been pulled back, I mean, the other thing is, like you were talking about before, how, like, you know, it's the, you know, it was like the guys with the hoodies and the hats and the this and the that. It's like, it's the other thing that really bothered me about the convention scene, that really is one of the main reasons I pulled back, is how quickly it's broken down into high school.
Yes.
And I'm a 45-year-old guy. I got no time for fucking high school.
Yeah. Or cool kids with the cool kids.
And you know what? I found myself getting sucked in, and I'm getting emotionally invested in whether or not I was with the cool kids. And it's like, fuck the fucking cool kids. I never cared what anybody thought. Why am I people-pleasing people I don't even care about?
Exactly.
But that's, whatever. I digress. But let's talk about... So what's it like to be, I know for me what it was like to be sober on the scene is at 10:30, 11 o'clock. I was with my sketchbook up in the room watching fucking cable.
That's exactly what I do.
Yeah, huh?
Hands down. I mean, that's going to shock you. I've never had a drink a day in my life. I never touched it. My dad was an alcoholic. So it stayed me away from drugs and booze and everything. So I never touched it. Never touched it. So if I never touched it, it never really bothered me. You're
not missing anything.
I'm not missing anything. And then a lot of my friends outside of tattooing who's drug addicts and drink and stuff like that, are great people. But when that booze get into you, you start to change. So I'm a type of dude that where I stay away from that. You know what I'm saying? I don't associate myself around that. If you're gonna have a drink, if you're gonna do certain things, I don't want anything to do with that. I kind of stay away from it. I don't want nobody to be like, oh, he was hanging around him.
It's just it's really hard too, man.
It is. It's
because
very
you
hard.
Love these guys during the day, these guys and these girls, and then it's like the sundown versions of them you don't want no fucking part of,
But then there's some guys who can drink who's the coolest guy in the world. You know what I'm saying? And he's like my brother, and we can hang out and we can chill. Hey, but he knows, like, I never get a tattoo artist tell me I need to go somewhere. Or, Poch, I want you to hang out. Because everybody knows I gave that whole thing up front.
Right.
I don't hang out.
Now, do you think that affects what little cliques you're involved in, or what cool kids will and won't, give you the time of day?
I don't see myself as like a popular guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm around amazing artists at the end of the day, and I know a lot of them, but it's not because of I had drinks with them. You know what I'm saying? It's because I took their class.
Right.
Or they see my work. Or he went to me in the competition and I won second and he won first. You know what I'm saying? Like, my name popped up.
Right.
And because the local guy around me, because there's a lot of guys, Keith, out here that's amazing. That's not even on the scene like that.
Right.
Who's amazing. I'm a type of dude where if you come to me approachable and you give me the respect, I'm going to get a respect back to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're around me and Nico comes around, I'm going to go, hey, Nico, this is him. This is Nico. I don't really hang out with a crowd. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Actually, at a show, I'm there to work. You know what I'm saying? Then after work, I'm in the hotel room. I'm calling my family, drawing, and I'm going to bed. Because in my eyes, if I'm not at work, all that extra time, I can stay with my daughter.
Right.
So I kind of keep that grounded. And it shows in my work because now I'm spending 8 hours a day in a convention drawing. You know what I'm saying? So when I start my piece the next day, Saturday, it's like, holy shit, I'm not sloppy.
Right.
I'm not hungover.
Right.
I'm more focused and generated. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh my God, that's Poch. You see him? Like, and it's a great feeling because now I'm giving something that
Did I say that really loud that day? Oh my God, that's Poch. Did you see him? That Poch? Oh my God.
It's shocking sometimes, Keith. It's like, I'm nobody important. I'm not the president, dude. And for artists to come up,
wait a minute, you're not the president?
No, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? And it's like there's artists come up and they be like, oh my God, Poch, your work is amazing. I'm like, thank you, dude. And their work is amazing.
We live in a world where you could be president.
I know. You see, Obama's doing it right now, brother. Obama's doing it right now.
I would rather be a tattoo artist than president.
That's too much.
I think right now he'd rather be a tattoo artist than be president.
Too much pressure. A black man don't do good under pressure, boy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's crazy. But it's an awesome feeling, Keith. Like, it's definitely like all the hard work is paying off. And I don't get off of having trophies or doing any of that stuff, magazines, right? Because if you notice, I'm not even in too many magazines. And I'm really picky on what I do.
If you notice, there aren't many magazines left.
Pretty much, yeah. But I don't really get involved on that.
Yeah.
Like, I have got asked numerous times to go on certain TV shows.
Right.
Numerous times. I'm not going to drop no names to get anybody all upset. But I've had a numerous people ask.
Why not do it, though? Do you really think it would would it affect your integrity that much?
I don't think the tattoo industry is ready for that yet. Being honest with you, I don't think so because everything right now is drama.
Right.
So what they're trying to stay away is like,
So do you think you'll be objectified? Is that what you're saying?
I think I'll either be on Black Ink crew. You know what I'm saying? Show. I love Caesar. I love Duchess. But again, like, they know this. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that the show does anything for us as African Americans.
Right.
You know what
Well,
I'm saying?
see, that's my feeling. My feeling about the competitive shows is that I'm not into artists competing against each other, because I don't think philosophically one of my things is creativity and competition can't exist in the same headspace.
Yeah.
You're not going to be fully creative.
But you know what's crazy though, Keith?
If you're thinking about how you're going to beat the next guy.
But you know what's crazy? If you really, really take time and look at the show, is it really competitive? You know what I'm saying? Like, is they really
it's
competing?
produced. It's not competitive.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, everything is scripted, and I have nothing against any of the judges up on there. But who are you to dictate his piece is good or not? You know, like...
And it's really gotten formulaic. I mean, I don't even know the tattoo artist's name, and again, nothing against the guy or against homosexuals or whatever, but I could see your worry, because they had a homosexual contestant this year, and of course, at some point in the production, it got to it being about him being homosexual, and there's nothing wrong with that, but why is that
necessary?
An issue. Exactly. It's almost like you said, like someone focusing on whether you're black, Hispanic,
and it's going to lead into that,
right? And
that's what I'm scared of. Like, I don't think the world is ready for that yet. Like, until they understand the fact that I'm equal, just like everybody else,
right?
Then it's fine. You know what I'm saying? But until then, like, I'm just not going to go on the show and embarrass myself. I mean, the email I got was, "Hey, Poch, we love your work. You got some killer stuff, but I want you to go up on the show and give me that urban feel. Is there anybody who you hate, so we can add them to the show?"
Oh my God!
Like, dude, like, are you serious? Everybody
listening right now, take note.
Please take notes. Please take notes. Like,
because if you're watching that stuff and you think it's reality,
it's not. It's definitely planned out.
Is there anybody you hate, so we could put? You should have said me.
And honestly, I hope this.
And we could have had a big fake fight.
You know what I'm saying? If I don't want nobody to take this and be like, "Oh, Poch is bashing Ink Masters," because again,
you didn't say Ink Masters.
Well, I'm just saying Ink Masters, Black Ink Crew, any show out there. I'm not bashing them, because there is some pros to it. There is people trying to educate themselves and doing certain things that's coming from those shows.
Well, I'm like you, man. Like, I have friends that are on the shows, and who have been on seasons. But to be honest, and I'm not saying this to be like posy.
Yeah.
I haven't seen 5 minutes of these shows.
I've seen a few episodes, and it was just sad. Like,
just the things I hear about it makes me not want to watch.
Yeah.
I did used to watch Miami Ink. Mm-hmm. And I watched the first 2 or 3 seasons of LA Ink.
Yeah. I was a huge fan of Miami Ink.
And at a certain point, both of those shows, it seemed, when they started to be competitive with each other.
Yes.
That's when the producers really got involved.
It came from education to selling all types of ratings.
Well, it got competitive, right? It went from
LA
creativity
Ink, then it was London Ink, then it was Tattoo Wars, which was an amazing show.
Oh, and that's why it's not on.
Exactly. And it's
I made my own DVD of Tattoo Wars just so I could watch it. It was like the only tattoo show that
still looking for it,
that had any credibility. Well, everything for a price. But so, all right, hold on. So we got to wrap up. But what I want to do before we wrap up is, okay, when last we left Poch, he was in the Bronx. So you landed at a shop, I'm guessing, in a professional capacity at some point. What was your first professional tattooing job where?
My first professional tattooing job was on 143rd and 3rd Avenue. It was a tattoo shop called Dino's.
Okay, and they gave you a break. They let you in.
My break. They gave my first 2-week break.
Okay, so that was a long stay.
So that was like, hey, I'm good, but you got to come in here and do small little things, little names and stuff. Hey, I seen your work. I know you've done this, but you got to come here and do that. As an artist, you got to start from somewhere. And that's why I started that, for 2 weeks. And
there's no shame in that, because you had no experience really at that point. None. So you got to go in there and do those pork chops,
Names, stars, tribals, you name it, I've done it. I'm old school, but now I found the niche that I'm comfortable with, and it's my realism. Like, I've always done realism.
Yeah.
So now I'm comfortable with that, and that's what I'm sticking with,
So how did you part ways? We're going to run through your shop history and land where you are now. How did you part ways with them? Something happened?
No. Like, every shop I've ever left was always on good terms.
So how did you leave Dino's?
I left Dino's, or pretty much I let them know. I said, listen, I'm from the Bronx. This 2-week run was good, but I was noticing that I was his backup. Like, in case he was flooded, I was there, but I didn't have walk-in traffic. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so it was more like it was his show, and I was there only if we got busy.
And there wasn't enough work.
And it wasn't enough work. But I really didn't care about the work, Keith. What I wanted was his time to show me, hand me guidance. You know.
Oh, so you went in with expectations of being kind
guidance.
of and he didn't have the time for you.
He didn't have the time for me. So I part ways. Hey Dino, I appreciate all you've done. But there's something I need more.
Okay, so where did that lead you?
He helped me get a shop on Christopher Street in Manhattan. It was like a small time shop, a little smoke shop. But the artist who was there was his friend, and his name was Jay. And that's when he was like, he's a good artist, he's clean, and he can show you the ropes. I stayed there for 4 years, and then I went to Andromeda. And after Andromeda, I went to On Whatever Tattoos.
How long were you at Andromeda for?
All those time periods, like straight after Christopher Street, was like a month. Just me.
You were just trying to find your place.
I was trying to sit up here. Honestly, no. I was never trying to find a place to stay at. I was always trying to stay with an artist that was good, who's better than me, so I can absorb from him and move on to the next. So that's what I did.
So you were looking for learning experiences.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So then from there, I went to Florida. After Florida, I went to North Carolina again. After that, I went to Richmond, Virginia.
Wasn't this somewhat discouraging to have to like run all over the country to get these experiences? Did you feel a little bit like, wow, this is fucking harder than it should be?
I made it harder.
You did?
I did.
So you kind of owned it.
I could have probably stayed in the Bronx and probably gained as much as I can and still be in the hood tattooing. But I wanted more. I wanted to gain, I wanted to hit Cali for the script. I wanted to hit Texas to understand his education in the art. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't want to stay stagnant. I didn't want to be dumb. I didn't want to be, okay, Pooch, you from the Bronx. You went to all the boroughs and that's it.
Right.
I wanted to go to Richmond, Virginia and understand their style.
Right.
Hit North Carolina, understand their style and what they do. So my setup and what I do is years on end of picking brain from other artists. And,
I thought I taught you everything. See what I'm saying, people? Are you hearing this now?
No,
see, now I'm not that important anymore.
No,
I'm not even part of this story.
And that's what I'm getting into. You know what I'm saying? I've picked from a lot of guys, it's known guys now who back then wasn't that popular. I've been doing this 15 years. I've been doing this for a long time. So a lot of guys who's popular now, who was on the side of me in the circuit, who was sharing potato chips with me, grinding out together, hopping in cars with each other. So it's like, I learned artistically and different things of who I want to become as an artist. But then in 2000, I think 2 or 3 is when I met Keith inside the show. And that's what changed everything. Because all I knew, it wasn't shit. I didn't understand painting and I understand values and I didn't understand presentation and who I want to be. And you are the company you keep. That's the main thing. You are the company you keep, and all that I learned and it turned me into a better man, So that's what I've learned from Keith, a lot of art stuff, but more of life, and if you grasp that, it'll change who you are as an artist, It's getting emotional in here.
No, man.
But it's true, man.
I just got some dust in my eye, man.
No, but it's true, man. I mean, everybody needs that guy to be like, hey, what you're doing is dope, but if you don't humble yourself and straighten up your fucking life, it's not going to matter. Or your artwork is not going to matter. And it's true. It's definitely true.
Well, if any of that is even 1% true, I appreciate it.
No problem, bro.
So let's wrap this up by talking about where you're at now. Now, you have found your way to working with
Roman,
a tremendous artist, Roman Abrego.
Yes, my brother.
And so just tell us what's it like working now? I mean, you're out of the ghetto, and
I'm coming up, Weezy.
You moved on up.
Yes.
So, all kidding aside, though, I mean, you're working with one of the top names in the industry. You're quickly becoming a top name in the industry. What's it like? Give us like a typical day working at Artistic Element, and what the lifestyle is. You've described the road experience, but what is your studio experience like at Artistic Element and working alongside someone like Roman?
Well, at this shop right now, this is my first real home base. This is my home. This is where I'm going to be at. And having a job with Roman is amazing. It's no party time. There's no play. Everybody sees him in the convention, drinking the Mohawk up. Honestly, he's unwinding. He's having a good time. But at the shop, dude, it's no holds bar. You know, it's like, you know, in the beginning, like I'm a type of dude, I don't lie. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to be something I'm not. You know, in the beginning it was rough. You know, it was definitely trying to understand the way how they do things. You know, there was no structure, you know, stuff like that. It was structure, but it's not the way how Poch does it. You understand what I'm saying? So it's kind of me trying to adapt to them and they adapting to me. Right. You know, and now we found that niche. But in the shop, it's no holds bar, Keith. Like it's crazy. It's like every day there's painting, there's drawing. Like he does a sick tattoo, he pushes you. You know what I'm saying? He look at your piece and, you know, he adds on stuff, and then there's Nico come to the shop, and Tyrell come to the shop, Timmy B comes to the shop,
right? And
everybody feeds off each other. There's 9 of us in that shop,
right? And
everybody thinks that, you know, honestly, Roman is the guy who pumps us up. You know, there's guys in the shop that y'all haven't even heard of that's amazing. You know, who tattoo the portraits. Wes Hogan, he's my brother. He's sick. Glenn, he does crazy biomech. Hova, you know, he's 21 years old, Keith, and killing it. You know, so it's like he does something sick, and it's like, oh my God, okay, I got to step it up.
So we're gonna put all your information in the description for the podcast, but just so people know, and they can look at your coworkers. What is this website for the studio?
ArtisticElement.com.
Okay, awesome, and we'll put that up as well.
Yes.
And so you've kind of. You think you're going to put some roots down at Artistic Element, or you still got some of that gypsy in your ass? What are we doing?
I'm never going to start traveling. Never. That's never going to happen. Can't nobody keep me from staying put.
Do you think you'll get to the point maybe where you'll take your family along with you?
Yes. What I want to do now is travel at least 8 shows a year and stay the rest at home. Artistic Element is my home.
Where are you? How many shows do you do now?
As of right now, I'm on 16.
Yeah, that's too many, dude.
Yeah, it's nuts. But you know what? I'm young.
You got to do it now.
I got to do it now.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Because in 2 years, I want to chill. You know, there's so many shows nowadays. It's kind of hard now, Keith. Like, you know, it's not the way how it was before, where it was 2 heat shows and the rest is all crap.
Yeah,
you got to show straight every 2 weeks now.
Yeah,
it's nuts. So right now I'm just doing like the heat shows. This year, you know, I did a lot. You know, but next year I'm doing like 8 shows only heat shows. Like, you know, only whole popular ones.
Right.
You know, and then I'm gonna definitely die down. But Artistic Element is home for me. That's where I'm staying. I'm not going anywhere else. No, that's home for me. I'm staying there.
Well, I'm happy to hear it, man, because I know it's taken you a while to kind of find a place where you feel at home and where you're comfortable and where you're being pushed and you're being challenged, and that's an awesome thing, man. So I'm super proud of you, man. I don't say that in a patronizing way. I mean, like I said, I look at you and I look at your work, and I'm like, holy shit, I got to learn something from this kid, which we're about to get down to. But man, it was a pleasure having you.
Same here, bro. It's a pleasure being here, man.
Excellent podcast. We're going to definitely have you back again.
Oh yes, back a whole lot more.
Yeah, please. And before we go, is there anything specific you'd like to plug? You know, website, Instagram, Facebook. We're going to put it in the text, but if you'd like to say it, go right ahead.
I mean, you can go on Instagram. You can plug me in and stuff like that. The only thing I want to say, and this is coming from the heart, is that he knows what he's doing. And please, everybody, just listen to him. You know, like this Keith Ciaramello, he's like my brother. You know, he's an amazing artist. He's an amazing guy. He definitely changed my life. So you guys just please just stick with it. You know, take the classes. Everything he says is very, very important.
What are you doing?
I mean, that's important to me right now. I don't want to hear about Artistic
This is your
Element.
time. This is your time. Don't plug me.
And by the end of the day, like, you can go on Instagram and find me out. You know what I'm saying?
What's your Instagram name?
It's Poch Tattoos. That simple.
Poch.
Poch Tattoos.
Is there a hyphen?
Nope, no hyphen.
Is there an underscore?
Nah, there's no underscore.
No
it's just Poch Tattoos.
Okay.
It's
no dots.
Plain and simple, and it's quick, and it's easy to find me. You know, but honestly, I want to end this interview off with that. You know, like that to me is important. I feel like artists don't give enough of that nowadays.
Nah, dude, you've always been supportive, and I appreciate it. I think you overdo it, to be honest with you. But
you got to give credit.
So now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go get my tattoo lesson.
Have a good one, guys.
From Poch. Thanks again, man. I love you, and
love you too, bro.
We'll see you guys next time on the podcast.
Yeah.